everyone has their own lane. If they're in fitness watching this, they don't need to be the next Rob Lipsett. They need to be the first them.
Yes.
You borrow pieces from people you admire. Like growing up, I listened to Jim Rohn. He was like my spirit animal, my mentor. And I had other mentors for sure. But I found my own lane. Like I have a mixed kind of a bit of spirituality stuff, business, personal stuff. But I found my lane. For years, I was trying to fit into others. Like, am I a coach? Am I this? Am I that? And it's how you make people feel, dude. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So once you find your lane, you're full power. And then there's no competition then. I'm sure you probably felt that early on. You know, you're competing or you're trying to, now there's no competition. It's just creativity.
It's just you.
How can I just be the best me? What's going to make me feel alive? That's when you're winning, dude.
Yeah, and especially nowadays with social media, it's in your face. It's in your hand. It's like Neuralink. It's pretty much attached to you. So we're always comparing you. So how do you think someone should figure out what they want to do with their life? What would you say to someone who's feeling lost and directionless?
Yeah, same thing. Like the clarity is the first step. Curiosity leads to clarity. Dude. You just got to get curious. You got to ask more questions. You got to start. The more conclusions you make about yourself, the less alive you become. The key is to be more alive. Like life is about experiences.
Yeah.
You know, you've had great experiences. You know, you're always with the lads or the things you're doing traveling around the world when you're in the States or in wherever. That's an experience. The things you probably cherish most are the memories of the experiences, not necessarily the things. So what's going to give you the best experience? Well, you got to focus, who am I? Like, what do I want to do? And like Steve Harvey said it best, what do you do best with the least amount of effort? Like for me, I knew from the cruise ships was speaking, connecting with people. That's what I was good at. So I've just found my way. But the first time I spoke on stage was my brother's wedding. I was best man at 19. And there was 330 people at the wedding. Can you imagine? Like 330.
That's a big wedding.
Big wedding. And I was so nervous, I only had 2 dinners. That's how nervous I was. Because usually we have 3 at a wedding. You know? So I remember about 250 people came up to me after that speech and said, you should be on stage. And I was 19. I was like, how? I can't sing. I'm not that funny. I'm not going to be a comedian. And I remember the next few years, I was in health and fitness. I was finding my way. And I found my way. And now I've spoken on stage all over the world. But I knew that was my strength. That's what I did best with the least amount of effort. That was my gift from God. I believe we all have gifts.
Yeah.
Your mission is to find that. What do you do best with the least amount of effort? Also, like some things you think are obvious are mind-blowing to other people. Like the things you do naturally that are simple to you are mind-blowing to other people. Don't undervalue what you have. The pain you've overcome. Like a lot of people, I always work with clients that turn their pain into power because your experience, your hurt is going to help other people overcome. Like there's hurdles you've jumped over, other people can't get over.
Yeah.
And I believe our mission in this life is to make the world a better place. I know it sounds cheesy.
No, that's true.
But I literally, like the service of others, when you're fully aligned, it's really about helping others. And it's really cool, dude, that when the more successful I become, it means the more people I helped. Yeah. And it's the same for you. The more you impact other people, the more your success goes. That's the key. Like success versus contribution, or success for significance, a mentor of mine used to say. Success is when it's about me, me, me. Significance is about how can I make everything else better?
Yeah.
How can I help others win? So I guarantee you, for anyone listening, when they find their gift, their alignment, I guarantee you it involves other people.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. How do you measure success? How do you measure significance? And I'll bet that it's how good you make other people feel.
100%, that's everything. And then you know yourself, when you get a present, it's beautiful, at Christmas or birthday. But when you give a gift and it's thoughtful and you see the reaction to it, nothing touches you more. Like,
yeah, it's the best.
Imagine that every day, and that's where I feel I'm so blessed because no matter where I am, if I'm in Marbella, I have a call later today with my client, I'm excited.
Yeah.
If I'm tired, jet lagged, whatever, I have a client, I'm on stage. You know, I work with a couple of companies. There's one company in Dubai I do once a month, 9 hours that day, speaking on stage, 9 hours to 300 people. And then I go home and I have my group coaching. So it's 10 hours that day. But I'm alive all day. I don't need anything. Like, I just go because I always say it's not what I do, it's who I am.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest gift you can give yourself is find out who are you.
Yeah.
And do that.
And so on the public speaking thing, that's something that I've done a good bit in the past, like not to the extent of yourself, but what a rush it is. Yeah. But how did you become a better public speaker? As that's some people's worst nightmare is speaking in front of a crowd.
Again, I'm very lucky, and I said this on a podcast recently as well. They asked me the same about how to become a speaker, and I was like, listen, I stood up, as I said, first time. I was good at it. When I worked on the cruise ships, I got results. Like that was my home. But I've worked with a lot of people to become better speakers over the years, and one of the biggest things is to speak on what you know. Like a lot of people are in jobs and they're trying to be a leader, and they're trying to talk about something, paper cups or and they're not an expert in that. It's just their job. like it's hard to stay aligned when you're talking about something you don't care about. The
Yeah,
passion. So
every time I've done like a big talk or anything, it's obviously been about like fitness and entrepreneurship. I don't prepare for it. I do not prepare for it, because if I
Your whole
prepare
life
for
you're
it,
prepared,
you're giving yourself a script to stick to, and then if you fall off the script, you're like, fuck. So I just go up there and 8 Mile it, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I rabbit that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Here at the shelter doing a talk. But you know, the beautiful thing is you've been preparing your whole life. You actually don't need to prepare for it. Let's say it's what you do. It's who you are, not what you do. Like I remember doing a tour in America. We used to go Boston, New York, Texas, Detroit, Miami. And I remember after the 5th city, I was so exhausted, and I was like, I'm not gonna put up any slides tonight.
Yeah.
And the guys were like, but there's 200 people out there. And I was like, I'm just gonna feel what they need. And I just went up and I did it almost 2 hours, 200 people, and I just fucking loved it. And I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
Like even at a company last month, I was doing the slides the night before, and I said to my fiance, I don't want to use these fucking slides. Like I know this shit. Sometimes the reason I put slides is for people visually, because people learn visually. So I'll put up something so they can, when they're listening, they can see and write.
Yeah.
But for me, it's from here. It's like today. Like just come in and that's the key.
away.
So if you want to be a better speaker, number one, get in alignment. Again, everything comes back to it, right? Get in
Yeah,
alignment.
I love it. That's my new word.
But the second thing is just hashtag alignment.
Yeah.
The second thing though is visualization. It's the same thing with your vision. Like people don't know how to visualize. You know, I have mega clients. I work with investment banks. I work with companies with thousands of employees around the world. A lot of these CEOs, executives, they don't have vision. They have ideas of what they think they want, but they don't have a vision. A vision should be clear, specific, and emotionally charged. We have to be. The more senses you engage, touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it, feel it, your body starts to believe it. And that's when you don't think of your future, you think from that. You get into that state every day. So if you want to create your life, you have to have a vision and visualize it. But if you want to be a better speaker, visualize everything before.
Yeah.
Even I used to do this years ago before my sales meetings, and that's why I never slept for years. I'm thinking, what's he say, what'll I say, what'll he say, what'll I say?
I've got insomnia as well.
I'm perfecting that, you know? And then after the day is finished, I replay it again, and I change it, what I should have said, what I wanted them to say. So that's another thing for sales. You have to imagine the right version of it. But if you're going to go on stage, I do that too before talks. If it's a big one, like a couple of hundred people there, a couple of thousand people, I'll imagine first. So I feel the sensation in my imagination before I do it physically. Yeah. So you won't get the full extent of the emotion, but you'll start to get, if you engage your senses. So if you were to talk tomorrow on stage, I'd be saying to you, just play that feeling deeply in your imagination.
Man, so that's what I do. Where I'm big on visualization, and what I do is I act like it's already happened. And like I've got like mad OCD, intrusive thoughts in a good way. Yeah. So I'll replay a scenario, honestly 5,000, let's say it's a 3-second scenario that I wanted to happen. I'll replay that in my head 5,000 times for a week until it just seems like it's already happened. Yeah. Then it does happen every time.
But it's already, I said to my fiance in the first date, walking from the car to the restaurant, and she was like nervous. I said, it's already done. Yeah. I said, everything's already done. She's like, what? I always say, everything's already done. Everything you want that's in your heart's already yours. It actually is. Everything that's in your heart, as you feel it, it's already yours. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. The problem is people are thinking from here up, shallow, superficial, I want. That's fucking bullshit. You don't want that. When you go from here, you can have everything. Yeah. So the key is to get here. And that's why with everything I say it's already done. Like you want to be the best, and you know you're in alignment, you're in sales, it's already done. Like everything's already done. You just have to learn how to receive it. You have to learn to move everything that's in the way of it.